Good morning to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu editorial analysis for proficiency in English. Before we go to the editorial analysis, I would like to start the session with a nice quote. And this is very apt when it comes to preparing for competitive exams. So, what is today's quote? Don't give up. Do not give up. The beginning is always the hardest. Give up is a phrasal verb. It means what? Stop trying for something. Do not give up. The beginning is always the hardest. When you start something, it is usually very difficult, and based on that, you should not give up. I always tell students all things are difficult before they are easy. Initially, everything is difficult, but when you spend a lot of time, they become easy. Now, today's editorial is all about repeal of the farm laws, and my pleasure, Varaprasad. There are so many words you have to learn, and if you know the meanings of all these words, very easy to understand the editorial. But 25 plus words, imagine you don't know the meanings. Obviously, it is not easy to comprehend or understand the editorial. So, context is a familiar context, but a lot of words. And today, let us see the words and how many of them are important, familiar. Let us start with the first one, the stimulus for writing this editorial. What is this editorial about? I said it is all about the repeal of the farm laws. And this goes with is it on the video? Please respond. I want someone to respond. Yes, it is. So, repeal, the first word, revoke or annul a law or act of parliament to make a particular act no more functional, no more valid, and revoke or annul. Even these words are very important. Words like revoke, annul, a law or act of parliament. Usually it goes with acts. Protracted, I think we have got recently. Protracted means what? Lasting for a long time or longer than expected or usual. Something lasts for a long time. We use the word protracted and prolonged. That day you got another word with the same meaning. What is it? Prolonged or protracted. Confrontation. This is a negative word. It has a negative connotation. Hostile. Even the word hostile is very important from competitive exams point of view. It goes with effective English. Hostile or argumentative situation or meeting between opposing parties. And hostile, we have got so many times. You have to recollect the words like enmity, antagonistic, hostile. And what are the combinations? Hostile behavior, hostile attitude. Seek, sought. So, what is the meaning? You're all job seekers. Attempt to find something. So, seek for something means to find something. And tenacity, an important word. The quality or fact of being very determined. Tenacity means determination. You can also think of the word a resilient nature, a resilience. Agitate goes with effective English. It also goes with everyday English. When you're disturbed, annoyed, usually you get agitated. But here the noun form has been used, agitation. Agitate means to disturb, excite, or anger someone. And when someone is angered, a lot of people they take out protests and they try to protest. They take out processions. Then we use the word farmers' agitation. Loom, we have got many a time. Something that seems imminent. Imminent is an important word. Imminent means likely to happen. And there's one combination, loom large, something that is usually negative or threatening that appears to be imminent. Then we use the word loom. And bow, bowing, to bend your head or body forward, especially as a way of showing someone respect. You all must be knowing this word, that is as a verb. But as a noun, bow and arrow, you all know that. That has a different connotation. And pragmatic, an important word. Pragmatism, the noun form has been used in the editorial, but pragmatic approach. I'm giving the combinations as well. Please listen very carefully and try to catch the combinations or collocations. Pragmatic attitude, pragmatic approach means what? Very practical, especially when making decisions. Procure, even this word we have got many a time. What does it mean? Obtain something, especially with care or effort. Usually, if you take big companies, you have a separate department for that, and procurement, the noun form. Adverse effect. This is again, we have got many a time. Preventing success or development, one meaning, but generally we say adverse impact, adverse report means what? Unfavorable. Listen to the combinations: adverse impact, adverse report, unfavorable. Aggravate also goes with everyday English, and I appreciate if you write the meanings, whatever you know, that helps in consolidation. I really appreciate that. Don't aggravate the situation, usually we say. Means what? Make a bad situation worse. Make a problem, injury, or offense worse or more serious, obviously. Ordinance, this goes with government and authoritative order. I'm sure you all know the word ordinance. And deliberation is an important word. Long and careful consideration or discussion. And whenever, thank you very much, whenever it comes to the ruling party or the opposition, there should be some sort of deliberation. That means what? Long and careful consideration of discussion. Triumph, an important word, and a great victory or achievement. You're all waiting for that eagerly with your fingers crossed. Spur, we have got many a time. Give an incentive or encouragement to someone. Something spurs means what? Encourages, or it acts as an incentive. Estranged, usually the typical combination: estranged husband, estranged wife. But this goes with polity as well, of a person no longer close or affectionate to someone. Another meaning, alienated. What is the meaning of the word alienated? Separated. Estranged partner, separated. Estranged political ally, separated. Once they were together, now they got separated. And there's one word that is missing. I should have done it properly. Humiliated. To make someone feel ashamed or stupid, often publicly. Humiliation. We also use the word insult someone. Trait is different. Traitor is different. Trait means a distinguishing quality or characteristic that goes with a person, the trait that belongs to a particular person. And traitor, we have that word also here. Traitor, a person who betrays someone or something. Betrayal, backstabbing. So two different words. One is trait, a quality, a feature that goes with a particular person, and traitor, negative word completely, a person who betrays. Expediency, an important word. Doing what is convenient rather than what is morally right. This you got to be very careful. Expedite, to speed up. Expedite is different. Expediency is different. Hostility, we have got many a time. Unfriendliness or opposition, enmity, antagonistic nature. Reflexive behavior, a typical combination. An action that is performed without conscious thought. Imagine I feel something has fallen here, immediately I'll try to do this. That is a reflexive behavior. I don't even think. That could be dust, that could be a lizard, that could be anything, a spider, but immediate reaction like this, that is a reflexive action, reflexive behavior. Dispensation, again, I think yesterday we got the word indispensation. Here, dispensation, a political, religious, or social system prevailing. Prevail means exist at a particular time. And already I have given the word traitor. We have so many words. Sustainable. Today, this word is in the limelight for the last 20 years or so. When it comes to environment, we talk about sustainable practices, able to be maintained at a certain rate or level. But generally, the word sustainable goes with to use the resources in a wise manner, thinking of the future generations. And invalidate, that is also an important word. Make or prove an argument, statement, or theory unsound or erroneous. Make something erroneous, sound, unsound, or erroneous. Skewed, usually it goes with design. When it comes to DTP, desktop publishing or design, we use the word skewed. Images means what? Something that is not straight or exact. To twist or distort. Skewed means distorted. You can take it that way. And polity, that goes with, usually I use Sleep's concept. P stands for polity. An organized society, a state as a political entity. It is nothing but a sovereign country. See here, so many words, and if you know all these words, it becomes very easy for you to understand the editorial, comprehend the editorial. But imagine, on the other hand, you are not good at any of these words and you don't know the meanings of many of these words. Practically, it becomes an uphill task to comprehend this particular editorial. Now, let us see how it goes about the main idea of the editorial, the stimulus, the reasons behind, and the impact of this particular act of repeal, and what holds good for the farmers and what could be should be the future. Seeds of hope. You all know the word seeds, it goes with plants, seeds, plants, saplings, and flowers, botany. But here, seeds of hope. That means what? There is a hope, and seeds of hope. Definitely, there's something to hope for. What is the main idea of this editorial? Farmers should withdraw. Here, farmers' subject should withdraw. This is very important. What? Protest, that is the object. But why is this important? Here we have a helping verb. What are the helping verbs or models? Can, could, may, might, must, will, would, shall, should. And there's one important rule that goes with helping verbs. What is that? If you have to use a verb after any helping verb, here what is the verb? Withdraw. That particular verb should be in the basic form without to, and for that we use the expression bare infinitive. What is it? Bare infinitive. You should read, you should go, you should write, they should withdraw. So farmers should withdraw what? Protest. And more information, usually writers use a conjunction and push for. Another important expression, push for, means demand for something, and push for consultations, demand for consultations. And why should they do that? In efforts to reform the sector. The entire editorial talks about the farm sector and the laws, the repeal of the laws. And based on that, the main idea of the editorial, first thing, the farmers should withdraw protest. That is the first thing. And after that, the second dimension they have to focus on, they have to push for. That means they have to demand for consultations in efforts to reform the sector. Now, there is something to be done that goes with the farm sector. Reforms are the need of the hour, so they have to think or focus, work on the reforms, and have to demand for consultations. Through consultations, they can work and look for reforms. Let us see how the stimulus, the reason for writing this editorial. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, this is the subject, has done. This is present perfect tense. When you read the editorial, as I said, you got to understand a particular editorial, and also from the exam point of view, you have to know the meanings of the words, you have to know grammar, you can consolidate. The other day, someone was asking, sir, is it useful from grammar point of view? Beyond any doubt. Here, should withdraw. There is grammar, important from the exam point of view, and also has done. You have to tell yourself, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has done. Immediately, you have to tell yourself, oh, this is in present perfect. If you can do that, that means you're consolidating your knowledge. That helps in the long run. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has done what? Again, the right thing. That is the object. Here, subject, verb, and present perfect tense object. Then you ask the question, how? The Prime Minister Narendra Modi has done the right thing. Then the writer wants to give the information how. By announcing the repeal of the three farm laws that are at the center of a protracted confrontation between his government and a section of farmers for a year. A lengthy sentence, but easy to understand. So he talks about the PM has done the right thing. That is one thing. How did he do the right thing, or how has he done the right thing? By announcing the repeal. By announcing the repeal. There's one important word over here that is a main thing, main idea, and the most important word, rather. Repeal means what? Revoke or annul a law or act of parliament. Of the three farm laws, and these three farm laws, they have become controversial, and based on these, farmers started agitation, and they took out processions, they blocked the roads in and around the capital city, and this has gone for almost a year. This sentence talks about PM has done the right thing by announcing the repeal of the three farm laws that are at the center of a protracted confrontation. There's an important phrase here, at the center, the center, the middle, the top. We have to use a definite article, the. And it's a phrase at the center of what? Again, you ask the questions, then you see the phrases, the clauses, a protracted confrontation. There are two words. Recently, I've got the word protracted, means what? Extended, lasting for a long time or longer than expected. You can also recollect the word prolonged. Confrontation. Confrontation means a hostile or argumentative situation. Confront someone, confrontation with someone. It could be a person, it could be a government, it could be the government, it could be the company, the management. Confrontation is not good. It is not usually good between his government and a section of farmers for a year. Another important phrase, a section of farmers. And when you catch the phrase, always try to substitute, change the key words, and make your own combinations. A section of students, a section of farmers, a section of employees. When you think that way, what happens? You come up with a lot of similar expressions, and that habit helps in the long run for a year. This is also a phrase. The loss sought. Here, the loss subject, seek, sought. Verb, sought to reorganize India's agriculture sector more in accordance with the principles of market economy. So here, this sentence talks about the reason behind what is the objective of the three controversial laws. The laws sought. What is the meaning of the word seek? Seek, sought. Attempt to find something. Usually, you guys are trying, looking for a job. Then, what is the expression that goes with you people? Job seekers. He is a job seeker. I'm sure you all know that expression. So here the law sought to do what? To reorganize India's agricultural sector. Reorganize India's agricultural sector more in accordance with, this is an important phrase, in accordance with, that is an important one, the principles of, in accordance with what? The principles of market economy. Principles, it's an important word. It goes with confusing words. There are two words. One is principle, the other one principle. The principle of a school, that is one thing. You all know the meaning of that particular word. And it has another meaning, main thing or the most important thing. The principal factor means what? The most important factor. And principles, he is a man of principles. He is a man of values. He is a man of ethics. And here, principles of market economy, certain things that control the market economy, the modern market economy. They would have redesigned. This is whatever you see in green, do remember, goes with grammar. This is very important because the moment you see they would have redesigned, would plus have plus verb past participle form, it goes with conditional sentences. Which conditional sentence does it go with? Past conditional. And any conditional sentence has two clauses, main clause, if clause. Main clause, would plus have plus verb past participle form. And if clause, we have to use past perfect tense. That if you recollect, it becomes easy for you to answer the questions based on past perfect and this, that is past conditional. You will be able to answer any question based on past conditionals effortlessly. They would have redesigned the country's food procurement. An important word, procure, obtain something especially with care or effort. And this goes with companies and procurement officer. There's a separate designation. They would have redesigned the country's food procurement, would have redesigned. It did not happen. It goes into the past. The country's food procurement and distribution mechanisms, triggering fears that the producers and consumers would be adversely affected to the benefit of big companies. So, why they became controversial, or why did they become controversial, the three farm laws? They were apprehensions. What were the apprehensions? The apprehensions were because of these farm laws, the farmers would get badly or adversely affected, one thing, and also at the cost of big companies, to the benefit of big companies. That means what? Big companies get benefited, and the poor farmers get adversely affected. That was the apprehension. So they would have redesigned the country's food procurement and distribution mechanisms had it happened. Fortunately, did not happen, triggering fears that The producers and consumers would be not only the producers, means in this context, the farmers and consumers, but also the consumers would be adversely affected, badly affected, unfavorable. And usually the word adverse goes with report, adverse report, and effect also, effects, adverse effects, to the benefit of big companies. This sentence talks about had it happened, what would have been the impact? It talks about that. Such fears were aggravated. Another important word, this goes with everyday English. Don't aggravate the situation, usually we say. Such fears were aggravated. Aggravate means what? To make a bad situation worse. Were aggravated by the undemocratic manner in which these laws were brought about. Bring about means it's a phrasal verb, cause change. So such fears were aggravated. Already apprehensions and the situation was bad. The situation was made worse, aggravated by what? The undemocratic manner. Democratic manner, they wouldn't have felt so bad or they wouldn't have agitated. But the way they were brought about, bring about, brought about, undemocratic manner in which these laws were brought about, that aggravated the situation through ordinances. Why undemocratic? They were brought about through ordinances and passed in parliament without deliberations. Deliberations, an important word. Long and careful discussion or consideration between the ruling party and the members of the opposition. Deliberations, after deliberations, had they taken the decision, that would have been democratic. That's what the editorial says, and passed in parliament, again an important pass in somewhere where parliament or assembly, without deliberations or consultations with the states, not only the opposition, but also the states. No deliberations, no consultations. Rather, the editorial says not democratic, undemocratic. The decision to repeal them, this all this comes in the position of subject, the decision, but the key word decision to repeal them is a triumph of democracy. Is a triumph of democracy. Sentence is in present tense. Again, how does it help grammar point of view? Every sentence they have to use a particular tense or a particular helping verb. When you read a short sentence like this, easy to make out. The decision is a triumph to repeal them. That is a phrase. But what is the subject over here? The decision. The decision is a triumph of democracy. Triumph, an important word, a great victory or achievement. Now, so far, the editorial has talked or touched the aspects like the stimulus, the reasons, the impact. Now it talks about the implications, the consequences. On the one hand, the tenacity of the agitating farmers that the BJP and state agencies could not break, while on the other, the looming assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh and Punjab forced the ruling party's hand. Now he talks about what could be the reason behind the sudden change, or what could be the reason in taking the decision to repeal all the three controversial farm laws. On the one hand, the tenacity, an important word, means what? The quality or factor being very determined. You can also think of the word resilient nature. The tenacity of the agitating farmers, protesting farmers, agitate to get disturbed or annoyed, but it also means in this context, protesting, agitating farmers that the BJP and state agencies could not break. Another important expression, exam point of view, I could do something, I can do something. You have to recollect two helping verbs, can, could. They have many functions. Can has four functions, could has four functions. And one of the functions, can, is used to express present ability. I can teach, present ability. Could is used to express past ability. I could do something means now I cannot do. And here they could not break, that goes into the past. They could break, they could not break. While on the other, these are important expressions. On the one hand, on the other hand, the looming assembly elections. So the reasons behind change in decision. Looming assembly elections. The word loom means something that is dangerous, something that is unpleasant, unwanted, seems imminent. That is an important word, imminent. Imminent means what? likely to happen, eminent, different, imminent, different. They have given in so many exams questions based on eminent, imminent. They go with inappropriate words, misspelt or inappropriate words. Force the ruling party's hand. Here, ruling party's hand, not literally the hand. Ruling party's hand means the ruling party's decision. In bowing to public demand, another word bow. Bow as a noun, bow and arrow, that is different, but here it is a verb. As a verb, it means what? To bend your head or body forward, especially as a way of showing someone a respect. Means in bowing to public demand, respecting public demand, you can say, or to give in to the public demand. Mr. Modi has shown flexibility, has shown. Mr. Modi, the Prime Minister, third person singular. Sentence isn't present perfect. We have to use the helping verb has, and we have to use a verb in the past participle form. So this is also in present perfect. Once you tell yourself, oh, this sentence has been used present perfect, then you can consolidate your knowledge. Mr. Modi has shown, again, you ask the question, what? Subject, verb, flexibility has shown what? If you get an answer for two question words, what or whom, the answer is the object. Any other question word, the answer is not the object. Usually it is an adverb, adverb of time or manner or any other adverb. So, in bowing to the public demand, this is a phrase. Mr. Modi has shown flexibility and pragmatism. Pragmatism, bow down, yes, good. This is an important word. What is the meaning of pragmatic? Practical, pragmatic attitude, pragmatic behavior, pragmatic decision. Usually it goes with decision making. So, practical, especially when it comes to making decisions. Now, what should farmers do? What should be the reaction of the farmers? Editorial talks about that. Farmers should. I should have talked about this. There's an important helping verb should. Helping verbs, they have functions. There are about 20 helping verbs, and these are very important not only from the exam point of view, but also from communication skills point of view. Extremely, very important. And should has got two functions. One function of should, it is used to advise or suggest someone. You should not do this, you should not do that. Also, you should buy this book, you should buy that book. Either advice or suggestion, one function. And what is the other use of should? It is used to express a possibility, but chances are less. Here, editorial opines farmers should not only withdraw, at this stage, they have to withdraw the protest now because the controversial laws have been repealed, but also show a more flexible approach regarding the path ahead to reform the sector. One thing, they have to withdraw the protest immediately, the editorial feels, but also not only that, but also an important expression, exam point of view, this goes with parallel expression, not only but also. Whenever you see not only, think of but also, but do remember there are exceptions. Sometimes we don't use, generally we use, and whatever follows the expression not only, the grammatical unit, withdraw verb, but also show verb. This is what we call parallel expression. Same grammatical unit should be used after not only whatever it is, after but also the same thing. A more flexible approach regarding the path ahead to reform the sector. Now, the point is they have to reform the sector. For that, they have to withdraw the protest immediately, one thing, and show more a more flexible approach, flexible, ready to change, and regarding the path ahead to reform the sector. Flexibility is not a bad trait in democracy. Trait means a distinguishing feature, characteristic of an individual or an organization, usually individual. Flexibility is not negative sentence. It is not a bad trait in democracy, which is about constant negotiations, talks, but it should not be merely political expediency. It talks about if you want to be flexible, if you are flexible in democracy, it is not a bad trait, but it should be used properly. And it adds that information, which is about constant negotiations. What is being flexible? Constant negotiations. You're open to deliberations, but but it should not be merely political expediency. This is an important word we have got for the first time. Expedite, speed up, that is different. Expediency means doing what is convenient rather than what is morally right. There are two things. You do something based on your convenience, you do something based on the moral aspect. But expediency means doing something based on your convenience rather than moral aspect. In this instance, the agitators were socially dominant, economically and politically powerful groups whose hostility the BJP found difficult to handle. It talks about the present, the confrontation between the government and the farmers. The farmers, in this sentence, the agitators means the farmers were, they should have used are, they're still socially dominant, economically and politically powerful, again, parallel expression. Groups whose hostility, enmity, the BJP found it difficult to handle. BJP found difficult to handle. This is again an important expression. You find something difficult, you find something easy that you have to catch. This should be an occasion for the government to revisit its general attitude towards protest mobilization. The attitude of the government towards protesters or those who agitate, the editorial feels it is time, it is an occasion for the government to revisit its general attitude towards protest mobilization. Revisit in this context, it means they have to reconsider and they have to contemplate on their attitude or approach towards agitators and those who protest. The reflex of the current dispensation. There are two words over here, reflex, an action that is performed without conscious thought, and dispensation, in this context, a political, religious, or social system prevailing at a particular time. So that is a regime, the government. The reflex of the current dispensation, the current government, has been to paint opponents and critics as traitors or anti nationals, a tactic that was tried even in the case of the farmers. This is again the stand taken by the editorial. The editorial says the reflects the immediate reaction of the current government or regime dispensation has been to paint opponents and critics as traitors or anti nationals. Traitor, a person who betrays someone or something, usually an organization, a country. A tactic means strategy, that was tried even in the case of the farmers. A consultative decision making would always be more sustainable. Already we have got the word sustainable many a time, able to be maintained at a certain rate or level. Consultative decision making, always in democracy that is required, would always be more sustainable and easier to enforce. People accept after deliberations, a decision has been taken, everyone is happy, everyone accepts. Further, again, very important, many exams they have given questions based on the two confusing words. FARTHER, farther goes with distance, further goes with in addition to. She has gone to the US for further studies, and many exams have given FARTHER, that is not the right word, and it talks about the distance. Further moves on agriculture sector reforms must drop from, must again a helping verb, it is used to express an obligation imposed by the speaker, one function, or to convey the idea something is compulsory. Reforms must drop from. Here, drop from means to take from. That's an important expression. The experience of the making and now the repeal of the three farm laws. They have to take the experience of the making and also the repeal of the three farm laws. From these two, they have to draw, and reforms must draw from the experience of one thing and also now the repeal of the three farm laws. Their repeal does not invalidate. This is an important word. Invalidate means make or prove unsound or erroneous. It does not make something erroneous. Their repeal does not invalidate the urgent case. Now, it means that based on this, it doesn't mean that it is not an urgent case. It is an urgent case. This repeal does not invalidate the urgent case for reforms. It is a time for reforms in the agriculture sector in which incentive mechanisms are skewed. An important word. Skewed means what? Distorted. Usually it goes with images. And environmental costs are unsustainable, not acceptable. Those will have to. Another important expression, will have to. Will goes with future. Have to, a helping verb. It is used to express an obligation imposed by an external authority or a situation. This refers to a situation like that in future. Those will have to be pursued, an important word, in a manner suitable to a federal democratic polity as India's. So it has to go, they have to be pursued. Pursue, you all got the word many a time. Try for something in a manner suitable. It should be in a suitable manner, manner suitable to, an important combination, a federal democratic polity as India's. So this is, I think it's over. Oh, we have one more. Let me see. Yes. The repeal of these laws will likely spur means encourage a realignment of politics. Now, at the fag end of the editorial talks about the political impact or the consequences on the polity, on the parties. The repeal of these laws will likely spur means encourage a realignment of politics in UP and Punjab, where assembly elections are around the corner. Around the corner, an important expression. It is a standard phrase likely to happen. The RLD, which is influential among the Jat farmers in western UP, might now see the BJP in a different light, see something or someone in a different light. That is an important expression. Means change your attitude, change your opinion, look at someone or something from a different perspective. An important expression, see someone or something in a different light. The Congress has been supporting the protesting farmers and can claim victory. But by repealing the laws, the BJP has increased present perfect its political space in both states, more so in Punjab, where the Congress is in power. So it talks about the different parties, the gains they're going to get, the gains and the advantages, the disadvantages, all these. How does the editorial end? It talks about the BJP's estranged ally. Estranged means separated, alienated ally, the Akali Dal. Once they had the coalition, they were together. Now they got separated. And Amarinder Singh, former Congress CM, who was humiliated. Humiliation, generally we say insult, but to be very specific, to make someone feel ashamed or stupid, often publicly. Then we use the word humiliation. It has a negative connotation, completely derogatory. So, former Congress CM who was humiliated by the party will also look for new opportunities in the situation. So, because of this particular, yes, that is your personal opinion. Yashashvi, please listen very carefully. We are not here to agree or disagree. That is not the intention. I have been telling categorically, I would like to reiterate, I'm not here to express my personal opinions. I'm not here to talk about whether the editorial is right or wrong. Here it is purely objective analysis, nothing subjective. No one bothers whether it is right or wrong. That is not my headache. That should not be your headache. We are here to enrich English language proficiency. I hope it is clear, crystal, it should be crystal clear to everyone. We are here one objective, only one objective. What is it? To enrich your English language proficiency, to enrich your vocabulary, to enrich language proficiency. I talk from that angle and I present editorial from that angle. So please do remember, it's a request from my side. Let us not talk about the stand taken by the editorial. And some students think this is my stand. Why should I express my stand? This is not the platform to express my views. I can express my views on some other platform, not this platform. I'm here as an educator, as an intellectual, as a language professional, as a linguist, and my job is to enrich your language proficiency. And I'm on the track all the time. I never deviate, I never go off the track, and thousands of students know about me. But a few students, those who are not good at English, they misunderstand. We don't have to think of those students. Absolutely not required, not worth also. Now let us go to expressions important from exam point of view. They should withdraw. This is very important from the exam point of view. In many exams they've given, after the helping verb, if you have to use a verb, you have to use the verb in the bare infinitive form. You should buy, you should write, you should listen, you should withdraw. And they try to use the verb in some other form that is not correct. Push for, demand for. Push, not literally pushing for something. Here, push for something means demand for something. The farmer should push for consultations, the editorial says. Repeal of, focus on the prepositional combinations, a repeal of something. A section of farmers, this is what I was talking about. Section of farmers, you try to substitute the key word, a section of students, a section of employees, a section of political leaders. That way you will be able to remember. In the exam, within no time, you can catch the right word. Seek to, seek, search for, seek shelter, seek a job, seek employment, job seekers. In accordance with, an important phrase, in accordance with, according to something, in accordance with a standard phrase, it goes with written English. Principles of, principles of something. Again, an important word goes with confusing words. Principle, principles. And would have redesigned. The moment you see grammar, what is this? English grammar is there? Nothing else. Huh? Would have redesigned. You have to think of past conditional, past conditionals. Adversely affected. As I said here, I started talking about. I do that. Word combinations, word forms. I always tell students grammar, the basic foundation. But exam point of view, grammar is essential. It's a prerequisite. Higher level exam point of view, what gives you the competitive edge? Word forms, word combinations, lexical terms, usage. These are very important. And how can you become good at these? Extensive reading. Then you become good at, go to the higher level, and that fetches the job. As simple as that, to the benefit of a particular section, to the benefit of farmers, to the benefit of students, aggravated by the situation, the condition, the health, usually. His health has been aggravated by. The situation has been aggravated by. Usually we use a passive voice. And sometimes in conversational English, we also say, don't aggravate the situation. Triumph of someone or something. On the one hand, an important phrase. Whenever you think of on the one hand, you have to think of on the other. On the one hand, on the other. Could not break. You have to recollect the functions of could, and you should also recollect the functions of can. 4 plus 4, 8 functions you have to recollect. That is being a smart learner. Casual learner, okay, fine. Here it talks about past ability. You stop there, you're not a smart learner. But based on the expression could not break, you, after the session, you spend some time, you recollect the 4 functions of could, the 4 functions of can. That means you are a smart learner and you're going the right direction. That helps in the long run. Bowing to the public demand, bowing to someone, bowing to something. Not only but also very important from competitive exams point of view. What is the reason? In competitive exams, quite often they ask questions based on parallel expression. This goes with parallel expression. Not only after that, if there's a noun after, but also there should be a noun. Not only adjective but also adjective. And if there's a verb, both the verbs should be in the same form. In this instance, in this situation, in this condition, in this instance, we also use a phrase, for instance, means what? For example. This is an important expression. You find something difficult to handle, you find something easy to handle. You can use, think of both. I find it difficult to handle English grammar. I find it easy to handle English grammar. An occasion for, I will answer that. Let me complete. An occasion for something, an occasion for negotiations or talks. Easy to enforce, difficult to enforce. Please focus on the prepositional combination. Easy to do, difficult to do. Easy to enforce, difficult to enforce. Draw from, this is an important expression because you all know the word draw. It goes with painting, sketching, drawing. Draw water from the well. Draw water from the well means take water from the well. And here, draw from the experience means take something from the experience. And the repeal of the laws, an important expression in the agricultural sector, in the manufacturing sector, in the IT sector. Try to substitute and make your own combinations. That helps in the long run. Will have to. This is again very important. Will refers to future. Have to, helping verb that expresses an obligation. Will have to, an obligation that goes into future. And quite often you come across this expression, very important, in a different light, from a different perspective. Around the corner, exams are around the corner means what? Imminent, likely to happen. Humiliated by, humiliated by someone, humiliated by something, a particular situation. And look for something, look for someone. What are you looking for? A typical question. So the all these are very important, and based on the time factor, because of the time factor, we are hard pressed for time. Here it is like a race against time. I'm not bringing examples, but what I suggest, try to make your own examples based on these phrases, idioms. That helps in the long run. And don't spend a lot of time. English, based on the newspaper, every day 60 minutes, not more than that. Whatever you get in 60 minutes, be happy. You stop there, focus on something else. And what are the questions you can think of based on this editorial? What is this editorial about? You should write an important editorial. Agriculture is a backbone of Indian economy. Many a time they have given prelims, mains, passages, closed tests, and many questions also, fillers, parajumbles, based on agriculture, different dimensions. There's so many dimensions when it comes to agriculture, and you have to have the basic information at your fingertips when it comes to agricultural sector. What is a triumph of democracy in the context of the editorial? What forced the ruling party's hand means the decision. So, again, key words. What has been the reflex of the current dispensation, the current regime, the current government? What will the repeal of these laws spur? What will it spur? It will spur something, the repeal of these laws. So easy to answer. And today, no exercises. I have come here, though I'm not well, because I could not take yesterday. I wasn't well. Today, also under the weather. I thought I should not, because today is Saturday, Sunday, 3 days continuously. That is one reason. Again, it is like exams around the corner. I wanted to wish today, a lot of guys are going to take SBI. I would like to wish them all the best. That is one of the reasons why I have come. Besides, I didn't want the break to get continued. So I wish you all the best, those who are going to take SBI. I think today and tomorrow, am I right? Definitely, definitely. No, Surya John. A lot of students wanted. I'm doing both here. I've taken the grammar approach at the same time. I'm talking about the previous approach also. It is there. Tomorrow's exam. My suggestions, my tips. First, you have to remember when it comes to a competitive exam. Imagine you are a candidate, you have taken coaching, you have been spending a lot of time, you have been preparing, let's say for the last 6 months or 1 year. Then, when you see the paper, I will talk only about the English part. I would like to say easy paper, you are happy, obviously. Moderate, mixed feelings. Imagine you come across a tough paper. Usually, what happens, tough paper, candidates panic. That is a human nature. They panic. My suggestion, don't panic and tell yourself, if it is tough for you, it is tough for everyone. Remember, if it is tough for you, it is tough for everyone. Then it is relative. You will be a bit, you will relax a little. And once you're tensed up, easy questions also you cannot answer, but you're relaxed. Tough questions also you can answer. So that is one tip I would like to give that makes or breaks your the way you answer the questions. You may ask, sir, why do you insist on this? I know a lot of brilliant students, my students, they have spent, let's say, 1 year preparation. In the exam, sometimes what happens, because of a few questions, initial tough questions, they panic and they mess up the whole thing. Once you panic, what happens? Big mess up. And all your efforts, 1 year efforts, they go down the drain or they go to the dogs. That should not happen. That should not happen. It is not at all advisable. That is what I would like to tell you guys. Please remember, and what this is the tip I would like to give. Don't panic. If it is tough for you, it is tough for everyone. Second thing, how to answer. You have to answer first objective type questions, multiple choice questions, MCQs, questions based on grammar, questions based on fillers, all those. First, MCQs, multiple choice questions, objective questions. After that, at the fag end of the session, you have to go to the passage. It should be like fillers, error location, phrase replacement, all these. After that, you have to go to close test. Then you have to go to para jumble at the fag end passage. And one more suggestion I would like to give you guys, don't skip the passage. According to one survey, 80% the candidates skip the passage in the exam. That means what? Out of 30, 10 marks passage, they attempt only 20 marks. That is the reason why usually the cutoff is single digit, 4, 5, 6. Don't make that mistake. That's a blunder. Please remember, you have to read the passage. It takes only, sometimes students ask, sir, how much time do we have to spend? If you have 20 minutes, 12 minutes on objective type questions or multiple choice questions, 8 minutes at the fag end of the session on the passage. Passage also 5 minutes to read, 3 minutes to answer. 5 plus 3, 8 minutes. And if you don't read the passage, I'm telling you, 1 year effort goes down the drain. And I always have been telling my students, and a lot of them, those who have followed the tip, they got the selection. And when you read the passage and you try to answer, you will get minimum 5 marks. I can give in writing. Let's say you have been preparing for the last 6 months or 1 year. If you read the passage, minimum five, there's every possibility to get seven. And today the competition is so severe, people are getting eliminated, not one also, zero point 0.5 marks like that, they're getting eliminated. And imagine you read the passage carefully, you get seven additional marks. That makes a lot of difference. That is one more tip I would like to give. And the last tip, when you look at the questions, imagine the first three questions are difficult. Nothing to worry. Be positive, be optimistic. Out of 30 questions, first three questions, first five questions difficult. Tell yourself nothing to worry. Still 25 questions are there. And this is very important auto suggestion. And also remember, out of 30, no one can answer all the 30. If you can answer 21, that is wonderful, 21 plus. That means 9 marks. You can just, you don't have to worry, tough questions. Someone has been, please suggest me to how to prepare for mains to score 20 plus. I remember, wait, let me complete this. We still have 7 minutes. I will talk about that. So, and passage also look at the keywords and try to navigate, try to answer explicit questions, try to answer the main theme. Based on the main theme, they ask what could be the appropriate title. Read the passage, easy to answer, you can get 1 mark. And also try to answer the meanings of the words based on the context. Out of 5 words, you can easily answer 2 or 3, not a problem. No, no, I have seen, please wait. Who is it? Target banking. Please wait. Have patience. I am talking about something. Let me complete, then I will talk about that. I remember I said that's what I said. I'm talking about a particular thing for tomorrow's exam, prelims. Let me complete this, then I will talk about the mains. You don't have to say the same thing so many times. Please don't do that. I'll be talking about how to get 20 plus mains. So for those who are going to take the exam tomorrow, these are the tips. Do remember, go with a positive attitude. Attempt the questions with a positive attitude. Relax, be composed, don't get tensed up, don't go off the track, be on the track, and try to answer as many questions as you can. I'm sure you will do well. You can get 20 plus. If the paper is very tough, you won't get, no one will get, nothing to worry. A competitive exam is always relative. Do remember, relative. Easy paper, the cutoff will be high. Tough paper, it will come down. You guys won't believe, in 2017, if I'm not wrong, IBPS PO, the cutoff was 2.5 English. Can you imagine? 2.5. The paper was very tough. Very tough. Cutoff comes down. Nothing to worry. It's all relative. Now, coming to this, he has been, who is this target banking? How to get 20 plus mains? First of all, prelims or mains, your aim should be how to get maximum when it comes to English. And I mains 40, prelims 30. How to get maximum? Think from that angle. Why do you want to stop at 20 out of 40 mains? Why do you want to think of 20 plus? Why not 35 plus? Aim that way. At the outset, I would like to tell one of my students, she got 37.5 SBI PO, she got selected. That could be the highest at the national level. So don't restrict yourself. Sir, how to get 35 plus? That should be the question. And don't ask me, sir, how to get 40 out of 40. I will not say you can get this way, that way. That is not practical. I'm a practical person. So, coming to the question, how to get 30 plus or 35 plus, first and foremost, mains is based on reading comprehension skill, not based on grammar. Prelims based on grammar and vocabulary to some extent, but mains completely based on reading comprehension skill and vocabulary, difficult words. Now, if you want to get 30 plus or 35 plus, only one thing you have to do, and not overnight. You have to read, make reading your habit, one thing. And you have to read the Hindu paper, the editorials, the headlines, minimum 6 months, 6 to 9 months. That should be a habit every day. Then you get, definitely you can get 30 plus, 35 plus, or maximum marks. But while taking the exam, what should be the strategy? Generally, what happens mains, they give two passages, three passages, four passages. I think last year, SBI, only passages, nothing but passages, mains exam. And what happens if you're not good at comprehension skill? Obviously, you cannot answer many questions. Still, do remember while taking the exam, imagine whatever the time, stipulated time, you can read, you can answer. If you cannot do that, definitely they won't give the passages, they won't give those questions. It is possible to answer those many questions in that stipulated time period. Accordingly, they set the paper. So, what I suggest, first you have a look at the passages quickly. Familiar passages you try to answer first, because it's all about passages, para jumbles or close test, higher level, and also para completion, paragraph related questions, odd sentence out. All these depend on comprehension skill. So, glance the paper quickly. Whatever is easy, comprehension point of view, whatever is familiar, try to answer those. And whenever you come across a difficult question, here it is all about time management. Don't spend too much time on one particular question, not advisable. Imagine you have read a passage, a familiar one, and you started looking at the questions. First question, tough question, leave it. Don't spend a lot of time. And second question, easy, answer that. Third question, a minute you can answer, you feel that way, your gut feeling, you answer that. But some tough questions are traps. Don't fall in the trap. That means what? You spend too much time on one question, then easy questions also at the fag end of the session you cannot answer because you get tensed up. This is one thing I would like to tell. And when it comes to mains, while taking the exam, you got to read meticulously. I use this word regularly. Meticulous. What is the meaning of meticulous? You have to look at every letter, every word, and you have to read with a focused mind. Meticulous reading, you can answer many questions. And one more thing I would like to tell you guys, when it comes to passages, a lot of students get tensed up, mains, because they have to answer, read passages, answer questions based on passages, but they give the passages and the questions. All the questions can be answered if you read the passage. You don't need any background information. All the answers are in the passage. Accordingly, they give the questions. That means what? You have to read the passage carefully, then you can answer the questions. As simple as that. As simple as that. Then what is the need to get tensed up? There's no need. All that you have to do, read meticulously, you can answer. One or two questions you cannot answer, nothing to worry, just ignore. Sure, I will do that. I'm going to do certain videos, waiting for the right time. So, are you happy with that? Who is this banking, target banking? And vocabulary, you cannot, you come across tough words and try to guess based on the roots, prefixes, suffixes. That is one more thing you're supposed to do. And contextual awareness, one more tip I would like to give for mains. Contextual awareness is very important. Understand the context, accordingly you try to answer. I hope you guys have got the tips, sir. How to get maximum marks? Komori Maunika, same thing, I have answered that. And if you want to get the selection English point of view, get maximum marks, it does not happen overnight. Please remember, there are no shortcuts. You need to spend 6 to 9 months, and you should make reading a habit. Every day you have to read, there's no choice. And those who read, they have got the selections, thousands of them. And those who read, they will get the selection. No one can stop, nothing can stop. But you spend a lot of time on grammar, and you don't read the Hindu paper, you don't make it a habit to read the Hindu paper. Chances are there, but not sure shot. But you spend time on grammar on the one hand, on the other hand you read the Hindu paper every day for 60 minutes. Nothing can stop you, no one can stop you. And in English you can get maximum marks irrespective of your background. I know one student, he would get 3 marks in English, rural background, village background. He followed my tips, he got 27. He got IBPS PO, IBPS clerk, both he got. 9 months preparation, two jobs. And you will get not one, two, or three. Many students have got negative impact marks. See, when you are in doubt, don't answer. You don't have to answer all the questions. Don't be greedy. Just your gut feeling. I can answer, I know the answer, you attempt. Element of doubt, don't. That is very important. Some students, they try to answer all the 30 questions. Because of negative marking, that is not advisable. Package. See, I right now I work for an academy, online education institution, and there, of course, I have been offering a lot of courses, grammar related, vocabulary related, reading comprehension skill related, and I'm going to start descriptive English fag end of this month or next month first week. You can go to an academy, download the Learners app, and look for my profile, Venkat Venkata Korlapati, and my referral code is Murthy 10. Murthy 10. If you use my referral code, you get 10% discount. I wish you all the best. Thanks for being with me till 3 past 8. Have a nice day, a nice weekend. I will see you guys on Monday. Thank you very much.